Alright, back again, Luke here, and today what I want to do is just show everyone how I did that Famicom light mod. Now this is a video that a lot of people have been asking about, and it's taken me quite some time to get this done, but I figured I'd give it a shot today. You're going to have to apologize, my voice here is going out a little bit, but to give you a little bit of background history on some of these older machines. If you remember, the very first Nintendo had a power LED in it, and a lot of the older machines did have power LEDs. It kind of made the machine more flashy and attractive. But what they did in Japan here with the Famicom is they took the opposite approach, and that was to make the machine as cheap as possible. And by doing so, they eliminated the LED. And if you look anywhere on this machine, you won't be able to find an LED anywhere. Now, in general, the LED is kind of cool because, for one, it's got that little bit of like flashiness to it. No matter what system, you know, if it's got an LED on it, it makes it look a little bit cooler. And on top of that, it gives you an idea if the machine's on or not. Now, with some of these machines like the Famicom and even the PC Engine here in Japan, they didn't do the LED. What they did instead was they just put a little piece of tape on the power switch. So when you turn it up, the piece of tape would be exposed, and you'd know that the machine was on, technically. But sometimes if you're troubleshooting something, it could be a little bit of a hassle. So what I did is I was playing around one day, and I was playing around with this this little X-Acto knife, or this hobby knife here. And I was thinking to myself, wouldn't it be kind of interesting if the Famicom did have a light, and, you know, what would it look like, and where would it go? So I took something like this. Now this is a really beat up Famicom here. This is the one that I found in the dumpster near my house, if you remember, quite some time ago. It was all trashed. But to give you an idea, I took something similar to this that I had laying around. Took my X-Acto knife, and as you can see, I've already started right here. But I put it here underneath the power, and I started to spin and to carve it away. Now what happened after a while, which, you know, is pretty typical if you're spinning a knife on a piece of plastic, is the hole began to open up. And I thought, you know, that might be a good spot for the LED to go. And, you know, I just continued at this pace, just using this, and from the top I widened the hole, and then from the bottom I widened the hole, and I had a perfectly round, well, mostly perfectly round circle here. And the reason why I used the X-Acto knife instead of a drill was just because it was late at night, and, you know, I was just tossing around some ideas, didn't want to wake the family up, and it worked fine. Now once I had the hole, I thought, okay, what am I going to do for an LED? Well, down at the local hardware store, you can buy LED sets. Now these sets usually come with a resistor. These are about 3.7 volt LEDs, and you can pick them up for, I don't know, about $2 around here. They're not that expensive, and I'm sure most hardware stores, you know, around the world would probably be able to have the same kind of LED, I'm guessing. Well, the thing that I ran into was I found the LED at the hardware store, but the only colors that I could find were white, blue, and then there was a yellow, but when you put the yellow in, it kind of turned like an orangish color. It didn't look really yellow. And I thought, well, geez, I want a red one. So what I did a while before is I took this Super Nintendo that I got. My friend brought it back from the States, and it was all busted up. And I replaced the power supply on the back. And also I thought, you know, that's purple, it's gray, a red light, yeah, maybe I'll just switch it out. So I did. And I cut out the red one, and I popped in a blue one. Now that's pretty bright. But after I took out the red one, I was thinking, maybe I can use that at some point in time. So I kept it aside. I went through some parts and went looking around, and I found that LED, and I used that. Now, what happened in the end was this was the result. As you can see here, this is the one that I had modded with the power LED. I made the circle there just the right size for that LED to pop through. Now, a lot of people have asked me how did I get it wired up, and you know, how did I get it to work. Well, I'll give you a little bit of an idea here. This won't be perfect, and I really apologize for that, but let's see if we can get the back part off here. Try to. Alright, this might be a little bit difficult to see. In here on the power switch, on the positive side, I wired up I know it's under the board and it's hard to see. I wired up the resistor, and then I wired up the positive end to the bulb, which you can see down there. Now, when I pushed the bulb through, it was a little bit of a tight fit, which was great, and I just kind of secured it with some hot glue down there, and it stays in there pretty good. With the negative, I ran the negative wire from here all the way back here, and I don't know if you can see this one either, but I soldered it here to the RF box. Now this RF box is already grounded out, so it was a perfect little place to get it all wired up. And yeah, lo and behold, after all the wiring, it kicks right on, and it gives you an indicator that your power is on. And the other cool part, like I said, is, you know, makes it look a little bit flashier. This Famicom here was a little bit yellow, so I didn't try it with one of the nicer ones that I had. I just wanted to experiment around with it and see if it worked, but it did work, so it might be something that I try with another Famicom. And if anyone out there wants to give it a shot, I would totally recommend it. Now, I've played this system for hours on end, and there's been no problem at all with this LED. So let's maybe turn this up here, change the channel. Alright, and let's try this thing out here with some, yeah, Adventure Island 2. And flip the switch. And as you can see, the little power LED comes right on. And we've got our it's Super Adventure, or not Super Adventure Island, we have our Adventure Island 2 playing. So, you know, it's just a simple thing, and it doesn't take a lot of work to wire it up. Just the key points are when you wire up that positive wire with the resistor on it, just make sure that the resistor doesn't bend and ground out with the negative part on the switch. You can add like hot glue to keep it in place, but yeah, it's kind of nifty, I thought. You know, you can see that the power is on. This is what a Famicom might look like with a power LED in it, and yeah, it really works great. It's a really big help, especially if you go to plug it in and you turn it on and you're like, why isn't my LED lighting up? Oh, I know that there's no power going to it, you know, instead of having to troubleshoot just this piece of tape here. But just a simple look at what I did and how I did it. Definitely the tools that you'll need is you'll need an LED. Like I said, I took this one out of my Super NES because I changed it over to the blue one. And you'll need a soldering pen, way to solder it. You'll need to solder the resistor to the positive side of the LED, and then solder that to the positive side on the switch, and then run the negative wire all the way to the back, and you can put it on the RF box, and you're all set. So, hopefully that'll give you a little idea on how I did this here, and like always, I'll put up another video here soon, so thanks for watching.